Think life is hard today? Trust me, you wouldn't survive a single day in the Middle Ages. Forget Wi-Fi, DoorDash, or even clean water. Medieval people lived in conditions that would make you sprint back to the 21st century faster than you can say McDonald's. Medieval food. Movies love to show giant feasts with turkey legs and endless wine. Reality? If you weren't rich, meals were bland, gross, and sometimes deadly. Most peasants ate something called pottage. Basically, a watery veggie stew that sat in the same pot for days. Imagine your mom's mystery stew, except instead of hiding broccoli, it hid bugs and dirt. Bread was the main food, but don't think soft sliced loaves. Medieval bread was dense, rock hard, and often contained stone fragments from the grinding process. People literally wore their teeth down chewing bread. And here's the nightmare fuel. Much of the bread was contaminated with ergot, a fungus that caused hallucinations, burning sensations, and even death. Entire villages tripped together, which some historians believe fueled witch hunt hysteria. Meat, a rare luxury. And when you got it, it was usually rotten. People drowned spoiled meat in spices if they could afford them. Otherwise, you just held your nose and chewed. Water was worse. Streams and wells were full of human waste, so everyone, including kids, drank ale. A weak beer, safer than water, that even 5-year-olds drank daily. One estimate says medieval peasants drank 8 pints of ale a day. Forget juice boxes. Kids had kegs. Bathrooms. Now imagine washing down rotten meat and fungus bread. Where do you put it? Toilets didn't exist. People used chamber pots and dumped the contents straight into the street, sometimes with a polite shout of "Gardez l'eau," which meant, "Watch out for the water." Spoiler, it wasn't water. Castles had guardrobes, basically a stone seat with a hole that dropped waste down the walls. Public areas often had open sewers. And if you were unlucky, your job might be a gong farmer, cleaning out cesspits full of waste at night. It smelled so bad these workers weren't even allowed in public. Toilet paper? Forget it. People used moss, leaves, or their bare hands. The rich might use wool. Medieval hygiene makes camping seem luxurious. Work and daily life. Romantic night stories make it look glamorous, but most people were peasants. Their schedule: wake at dawn, farm until sunset, collapse, repeat until death. Farmers plowed fields by hand, worked 16-hour harvest days, and burned over 4,000 calories daily, without protein shakes to help. Kids started apprenticeships at age 7, working for free until adulthood. Other jobs were just as grim. Blacksmiths inhaled toxic smoke, tanners worked in urine and chemicals, and poor kids collected dog poop to sell. Minimum wage didn't exist. The concept was minimum you need to not die before tomorrow. Medicine and death. Get sick? You're done. Doctors believed illness came from bad air or imbalanced humors. Their cure for everything? Bloodletting? Got a fever? Slice a vein. If that didn't work, they slapped on 70 leeches. Simple colds could kill you. Infant mortality was sky high. 30% of children died before age 5. Life expectancy? Around 30 to 40 years. And then came the Black Plague, wiping out half of Europe. Oh, and medieval dentists? Their solution was yank it out and pray. Justice and punishment. Think modern courts are unfair. Medieval justice was chaos. Laws changed from village to village, and being accused was basically the same as being guilty. Trials involved ordeals. Carry a red-hot iron bar. If your wounds healed fast, you were innocent. Tossed in a river? If you sank, you were innocent. If you floated, guilty. Either way, you weren't walking home. Punishments were brutal. Hangings, beheadings, or worse. Being drawn and quartered. Even small crimes could get your hand chopped off. Public executions were considered entertainment. Families showed up with snacks like it was a medieval Netflix special. War and violence. And if daily life wasn't brutal enough, there was always war. Most soldiers couldn't afford fancy armor or swords. Common weapons were farming tools. The deadliest weapon? The English longbow, which deformed skeletons of archers from years of training. Battles were bloodbaths, tens of thousands dying in a single day, often from infection before actual wounds. Armies lived off the land, meaning they burned villages, stole crops, and left civilians starving. During sieges, people trapped inside castles ended up eating rats, cats, and eventually, each other. Everyday misery. Even if you avoided war, death, and plague, life still stank, literally. Towns reeked of waste, rotting meat, and unwashed bodies. People bathed only a few times per year, believing it made them sick. Lice were so common that combs were made just for picking them out. Clothes were rough, itchy, and rarely washed. Shoes were thin leather, offering no protection. Privacy didn't exist. Families, servants, and strangers often slept in the same bed. Entertainment, animal fights, executions, or listening to traveling storytellers, if you were lucky. Conclusion. So yeah, forget the fairy tale castles. Real medieval life was disgusting, brutal, and short. Next time you complain about slow Wi-Fi, just be glad you're not chewing stone bread, drinking child ale, and dodging poop flying out the window. Because compared to medieval times, modern life is paradise.